Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gerza. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am sharing some of the fabulous online exclusive products that are available in my online store. Now, you may or may not be aware that Stampin' Up! Has some fabulous catalog. Maybe you're probably already aware of that. That showcase all kinds of wonderful products and product suites that all coordinate. And what you may not be aware of is a new way of accessing new product, which is through our online exclusives. So, for about the last year, Stampin' Up! Has been offering a collection of products that are available only um, through my online store. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't order them for you if you are someone who doesn't like to order online. It simply means that they don't appear in any catalog, and the best way to find them is through my website. So, for those of you who like to shop online, this is great because you'll be able to access them easily, and there are updated new ones released every quarter. So today I'm going to be showcasing the Fluffiest Friends bundle, which is absolutely adorable, and another sentiment stamp set called Softly Said. So both of these are ones that are online exclusives, and they released in November. And November was crazy busy with Christmas card prep and Christmas card classes, so I didn't have a chance to play with these fabulous products. So today I am playing with them, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get you excited about them as well. So if you are joining me today, can you please give me a hello and let me know that you are live with me? It's always nice to know I'm not talking to myself here. All right, let's see who's here. We've got Jill from Ohio. Welcome, Jill. We've got Laura and Susan from Pickering. Hi, Cheryl. Yes, this stamp set is definitely up your alley. Hi, Krista. Hi, Mary from Southwest Minnesota. Hi, Julie. Hi, Jeanette. All right, so we are good to go. I am going to flip the view to my desktop so that you can see the products that we are going to be playing with today. So, as I mentioned, we are playing with the Fluffiest Friends bundle. Now, honestly, how cute are the little critters in this set? I have to tell you, there are two images that stole my heart and made this a must have. The first one is this very chubby kitty. I'm telling you, Stella was the model for this cat because they have perfectly captured her rather rotund shape. And the second one is this adorable beaver. Now, as a Canadian, I don't know, I just have this kindred feeling with beavers. They are on our nickel or 5-cent piece. And I just think he is the cutest little fella. So we're going to play with both of those images as well as this adorable chubby bear. But then we've also got some other super cute, got a little hamster and a bunny and a chubby bird. So really, really cute stamp set. And then, of course, we have coordinating dies. So we have our open dies that cut out our little critters here, but then we also have several shape dies that give additional accessories to our stamped images. So this is a really cool label shape. Just a different sort of orientation. It looks a little bit like a snow globe. It's like a semi-oval, for lack of a better word. And then we have this cute little branch and leaves and a beehive, some grass. This one cuts out the twigs here. So super, super cute bundle. And as you notice, probably, there are no sentiments. So this is an image only bundle. So we do need some sentiments. So we are going to use the new Softly Said sentiment set, which is also an online exclusive, on some of our projects today. And I love the fact that these are large sentiments. They're nice and big. They're easy to do various inking techniques with. You're going to see some ombre stamping today. And they're nice because they take up lots of real estate on your card. So if you want the sentiment to be the focal point, this is a great sentiment set for you. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. I'm going to set these aside and we are going to get to it. All right. Oh, we've had lots more people join us. Hi, Sandy and Shannon and Carol. Hi, Joyce and Peggy and Gail and Linda. Hi, Jean. Welcome. Hi, Sonia. All right. So the first card we're going to do is this one, playing with our cute little chubby beaver. I posted this earlier today, and I absolutely love this image. So let's get to it. I'm also going to show you a few other online exclusive products that have been around for a little while that you may have forgotten about or maybe just didn't get around to using. So to start, we are actually going to be using an online exclusive DSP pack. You probably recognize this side of it. It's from the One Horse Open Sleigh DSP. Now, I ordered a ton of this when it came out in July for an event, and I still have lots of some patterns left. I've got lots of this stripe pattern because I didn't actually use it for the event that I was purchasing all that paper for. So it's great because this is nice and neutral. It doesn't have to be Christmas, right? It can be anything. So this piece is cut to 4 by 5¼ inches. And then we're going to be adding a little bit of twine. So this is the in color jute twine in pebbled path. Now it is quite a thick twine. It's quite coarse. I want it to be a little bit finer. So what I'm going to do is just kind of untwist one of the ends here. And I'm just going to grab, there's 3 strands in this twine. So I'm going to grab one strand and I'm just going to start pulling it out. So now I have one much thinner, sort of kinky strand. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2, just separate them. And you do have to have a little bit of patience when you're doing the second round because these, when you only have 2, they tend to tangle just a little bit. So you do have to be a little bit patient with it. All right, so there we go. There are our 3 strands. So we're going to use 2 of them across the front of our DSP panel, right below where our sentiment's going to go. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And we're going to add a little glue dot to the back side on one side. So I'm going to press my twine into that. I'm going to run it across the front of my panel. I'm going to trim off all this extra length. I don't need all of this. And then I'm going to add another glue dot to the back side again. And then we're going to wrap that twine around and stick it to the glue dot. I'm going to trim off this extra bit here too. We don't need it. Right, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere that to our card base. So our card base is Balmy Blue. This is Misty Moonlight, and Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight are one of my favorite color buddies, which is what Sarah Douglas, our Stampin' Up! CEO, calls them. They're colors that work really well together. So I'm going to fold my card base in half. All of our card base dimensions today are the same. They're 5½ by 8½, so a half sheet of 8½ by 11 cardstock, and I scored in the middle at 4¼ inches. So we're going to go ahead and fold that along our score line and put a little bit of glue on the back of our DSP panel here. And then we're going to stick that to the front of our card. So this first card is pretty quickie. I like having some quick and easy cards to show that it doesn't always have to be a million layers. Now this piece is a die cut rectangle. It's from the Radiating Stitches dies, yet another online exclusive. So there are lots of die sets that are available only online, and some of our past catalog products have carried over into online exclusives. So if you are not finding something in a catalog and but you're still seeing people using it, I would really encourage you to check out the online exclusives because sometimes that's where they are hiding. So we're going to stamp our You Are Loved sentiment using the ombre stamping technique. So you've seen me do this a ton, but for those who have not, we're going to start with some Balmy Blue ink, and I'm going to ink the top half, or top, I don't know, I guess half-ish of my stamp with my Balmy Blue ink. Now, I don't want to be too heavy-handed here. I'm actually going to take off some of that ink because it looks like I may have gone a little overboard here while I was talking. And then we're going to pull in our Misty Moonlight and apply it to the bottom half of our sentiment, or bottom third, whatever. And again, if you get too heavy-handed, you can actually remove some of that ink by simply taking the ink off on your scrap paper or grid paper and then daubing back over top. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp on our label, centered. Here we go. You see that pretty sort of ombre effect? Love that look. All right, let's get rid of our ink pads. We're going to layer this on a piece of Boho Blue cardstock that is 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. Okay, so that is going to get glued flat right on there. I'll just grab a little bit of liquid glue. You don't want to get your liquid glue where those radiating stitches are because, well, they're cut through and your glue will ooze through the cut lines and you will have a rather sticky mess. So keep your glue towards the center when using this die set. And then we're going to go ahead and adhere our label to the front of our card with a couple of dimensionals or more, probably 6, 2, 2, and 2. I know some people watch me and go, holy cow, the woman's addicted to dimensionals. And yep, I am. I tend to probably use more than I need to, but you know what? I would rather my cards stay together and make sure it doesn't get squished in the envelope. All right, so we're going to pop this on, and I'm just going to kind of watch that I have sort of an equal border, top and left side. It is hard to see when I'm not looking straight down. Okay, now let's get to this adorable little beaver. So here he is. I have stamped him in Memento black ink and started coloring him using my Stampin' blends. I'm going to show you how I colored him. We're going to do his face yet. And then I die cut the stamped and colored image. Okay. All right. I also have his little pile of twigs here. So turned this way, it could be a nest for the little bird in the stamp set, but turned this way, it's like a pile of twigs for our beaver building his dam. So to color my image, sorry, I'm a little croaky. I'm going to first, I'm basically pairing dark gray granite with light pebbled path. That is my combo. The light gray granite I'm going to use to highlight his sort of his snout and his hands, okay, or paws, I guess. But that's the color combo I'm going to use. So I'm going to first bring in my dark gray granite. I'm going to lay down some dark gray granite all over his little face, except for his snout. So I'm going to kind of leave the snout white for now. You're going to see lots of coloring today. I hope you're down with that. I did color up most of each image in advance, so you don't have to watch too much of it. Okay, so there's my base layer. Then I'm going to come in with my light pebble path, and I'm going to add shadow kind of where the sort of shading or hash marks are on the stamped image. A little bit down here by his chin. And then again, I'm going to come back with my dark gray granite and blend that out. Just going to pull that out. You're going to see that the color, just those two shades, work very, very well. So this is great for sort of a medium gray brown. I found if I used the pebbled path, like dark and light, it was too dark. This is dark pebbled path down here. Okay, it's very, very dark. So I didn't want to use that combo on the body because I didn't want my beaver to be quite that dark. So the tail and feet and his little heart made of twigs are colored with the dark pebbled path. The body is the dark gray granite and light pebbled path. And then for the snout, we're going to use the light gray granite. So I'm just going to come in and fill that in and fill his little hands in. And there we go. Isn't he a cutie? Love him. All right. So now this one is going to go just sort of on the corner, bottom corner of our label here. But first I'm going to glue him to the pile of twigs. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my voice today. I'm going to take a sip of water. All right, I agree, Laura. This sentiment is awesome. Everybody needs to be told they are loved. So I think it's a fantastic sentiment. All right, so to color the twigs, I did use the light pebbled path. Okay, so we're going to just add a little bit of glue along the top of our pile of twigs here. And we're going to glue our little beaver on. He's sitting atop his pile. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of the whole thing. And we're going to stick him onto the front of our card. Now I'm not going to put one on the left side of his head there because that is going to overlap my label. And I want to make sure that it actually overlaps and doesn't bump up. Okay, so we're just going to stick him on just like that. I'll get rid of our backings. And I'm going to pop him on right about there. So cute. And then just a little touch of bling. We're going to add some of the in color polished dots. And with these guys, I'm actually finding that I find it easier to kind of peel them off with my fingernail. I know I usually use my take your pick, but I'm finding with these, because they're so flat, that I'm having a hard time picking them up with my take your pick. So I'm using my fingernail. And there we go. There is our finish. Oh, we have to do our bow. Almost forgot the bow. All right, so I have one more strand of that twine, right? We used 2 on the front of the card. So I'm going to tie a cute little bow with that last strand. We'll adjust our loops. I want them to be fairly big, not too big. And then again, we'll trim off our excess. And then when I'm gluing twine, I like to take my glue dot and I kind of roll it into like a little glue booger. And then I press the knot of my bow. Oopsie. And then that is going to adhere right where the twine meets the label there. There we go. Now that's a finished card. It's not finished without the bow. All right, now on the inside, I mentioned I have lots of this DSP left, so I just added a strip of the DSP and left it blank. And I like having cards like this because you can use them for any occasion, right? Someone's not feeling well, you can send this out. You just want to send, a thinking of you, or I miss you, an encouragement card, a good luck card. This sentiment works for so many occasions, so leaving it blank on the inside gives me lots and lots of options. All right, so that is number 1. All right, let's move on to our chubby kitty card. Here she is, Miss Stella in all her glory. So I mentioned that I am pretty sure that Stampin' Up! Used a photo of Stella as their model for this little kitty, because this is pretty much her. So I decided to color a calico cat, which is what Stella is. So I will show you how I did that. So let's get to that. So to start, we have our die cut. So this is that rather unique sort of almost like a snow globe or dome shaped die. And it cuts quite a large label that you can stamp a scene on or use as a focal point on your card. So we're going to be stamping our little kitty and our flowers in Memento black ink. So I'm going to start with my flowers, or sorry, with my kitty. And I like to make sure that we're well inked, because when we're coloring, we want a nice bold outline. There we go. And I'm going to stamp her near the bottom, not right to the bottom, because I'm going to be gluing the grass on the bottom and I don't want to completely cover her up, but I also don't want her to be floating. And then we're going to take our flowers and stamp them beside her, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to do a little coloring. Surprise. Okay, so we got lots of colors here. Don't get discouraged if you don't have all of these colors. Okay, so to start, we're going to color our flower. Our flower is going to be colored in dark Flirty Flamingo. I honestly cannot tell you the last time I used Flirty Flamingo on a card. It has been a very, very long time. I don't know why. It's quite a lovely pink, but it's just not a color I reach for very often. So I decided it was time to show Flirty Flamingo some love. So we're coloring all of our flowers in dark Flirty Flamingo. Not doing any shading on these flowers. They're so tiny, it's pretty much pointless to try to shade. You're not going to see anything. And then the center of our flower is going to be dark Daffodil Delight. So just filling those in. And then we're going to color our leaves with our leaf. Well, I guess there's leaves on each flower, with light granny apple green. So we'll fill all of those in. Here we go. Our pot is light copper clay. Makes it look a little bit like a terracotta flower pot. Now, I suppose you could do a little bit of shading on this one if you were so inclined, but I'm not, so we're not. There we go. And then we're going to color Miss Stella. So I looked very closely at my kitty, and she kind of has three basic color markings. She's got like a tan. She's not really an orange calico, she's a tan. And then she has gray and then a fair bit of black. So all I did is I started with my tan, and I just kind of added some splotches and spots, sort of in a few spots on the edges of her body and along her tail. Her tail is a real mixed bag of everything. And then I'm going to bring in my gray. This is light smoky slate. I should mention this is light pecan pie. And we'll add a little bit of gray here, a little here, and then a bit to her tail again. And then we're going to use the black fairly sparingly. She doesn't have a ton of black, but she has a bit. She has her black heart on her bum. I don't know if you've ever seen me post photos of her when she's sitting, but on her lower back, just above her tail, she has a black heart. So we're just going to go ahead and add a little bit of black to her tail, and then I'm going to come back with the light gray and fill in the rest of the tail because she doesn't really have any white on her tail. Of course, you can custom color your kitty to whatever you would like. If you have a feline in your life, you can certainly make this kitty look like just about anybody. Oh, Susan, yeah, light Flirty Flamingo for rosy cheeks. I tend to use the Petal Path or one of the skin tone blends for that, but absolutely, yes, the light Flirty Flamingo worked. Hi, Namiji, welcome. Nice to see your name come up. Phil, I hate to break it to you, but Stella is chubby. We tell her that on the daily. She's supposed to be on a diet. She can't seem to handle it. She constantly eats her sister's food. And her sister is skinny, so it's kind of a challenge having one that eats too much and one that doesn't eat enough. So if you picked Stella up, you would see what I mean by the heavy. Okay. All right, so there we go. There is our colored Miss Stella. So she is mostly white and has just a few spots. So there we go. We are going to adhere that to our card, but before we do that, we got to do a little bit of assembly. So we're going to set that aside. I have a piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. I've embossed it using yet another online exclusive. This is from the set of 3D embossing folders called Basics. And this is sort of a star floral pattern. And so this is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And then I have a sneak peek of a new DSP pack. I'm going to turn over this side. You may have seen this showcase by some other demonstrators. This is the Be Mine Designer Series paper from the suite of the same name in the new mini. And I am loving the back sides. I love the bees, but I love this yellow plaid. So we're going to use a piece of that is 2.5 by 4 inches. And we're going to mat it on a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock that is 2 5/8. Yep, 2 5/8 by 4. I had to double check that. So we're going to go ahead and glue those on. There we go. And then we'll add a little bit of glue to that. And we're going to adhere it to our Flirty Flamingo layer. Now I'm going to try to center this. I suppose I could measure if I wanted to be super precise, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it because why not? You don't need to be super precise. So I'm just kind of looking to make sure it's relatively centered on my cardstock. There we go. And then that is going to get layered on a Granny Apple Green mat that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So this one has lots of layers. Unlike the first card, which is quite quick and simple, I do like my layers. If you've been around for any length of time, you know that. If you've ever received a card from me, you also know that it weighs about 3 pounds because I like my layers, but that's okay. All right. That now is going to get adhered to a thick basic white card base. Again, same dimensions as the last card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll go ahead and fold that in half. And then we're going to adhere our card front. There we go. Oops, that moved. Don't you move. Quick, readjust before the glue sets. There we go. All right. Now we're going to add a little bit of grass to our scene here. So I have some die cut grass. This is using the dies that coordinate with the stamp set. And I cut them from Granny Apple Green cardstock. So I'm just going to run a little bit of liquid glue along the bottom edge of my label here. And we're just going to go ahead and stick down our grass. So what I like to do actually is I go do the two sides and then I stuck the third one in the middle because I didn't want to see sort of those joins. So I do need to add a little extra glue on either end here so that when I stick this one on, it stays put. Just like that. Okay, now that is ready to go onto our card front. So again, we're going to use some dimensionals, not black ones. There are regular ones. So we will add, I don't know, 5? Sure, why not 5? 5 works for me. So we'll get rid of our backings. Oh, see, Susan, ours are our sisters as well. They look very similar. They have the same markings, but they could not be more opposite in body type and in personality. They're total opposites. My husband comments on it pretty much daily that he can't get over how completely opposite these two cats are. All right. Our sentiment is going to get stamped on this little label with another online exclusive die set called Nested Essentials. So this is the smallest label die from that one. And we are going to stamp this sentiment. Now this sentiment, I had it and then I forgot. Let me just double check to see which sentiment set this comes from. Have I forgotten? I have forgotten. Which one is it from? I can't remember. I'll have to post it in the description afterwards. I can't remember. But I love this. You're the best ever. Great for a thank you card or someone who's cat sitting if you need to send a cat sitter thank you. So we're going to, again, ink this in Memento Black and just stamp that. And then before we stick it on, we're going to add a little gingham bow to the back side. I don't know what I did with the stamp set that was from. I thought I had left it out, but I'm not seeing it. I cleaned up too much. All right, so we're going to go ahead and tie a cute little bow with our black and white 1/4 inch gingham ribbon. This is my favorite ribbon to tie with. It is so easy to make cute little bows. And let's face it, gingham goes with just about everything. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my, it might be a little big still. Make it a bit smaller. There we go. We're going to go ahead and adhere our bow to the bottom right corner of our label. So it's going to go get glued to the back of the label. So I like to kind of do it at a little bit of a jaunty angle there. And then that is going to stick to the front of our card, but we're going to trim our tails. That's too long. Whoopsie. There we go. It's going to go on like that. So we're going to add a couple of dimensionals yet again, as soon as I figure out where I put them. So 1 and 2. So that is going to adhere, sort of overlapping our label there to fill in that empty space. So I'll stick that right about there. Pull out our loop on our bow. And then we are going to add some new embellishments, which I think I put back. Where did I put them? Wow, I'm not very organized today, you guys. This is not normal. All right, here we go. New embellishments from the new mini. These are also from the Be Mine suite, and they're called adhesive backed hearts and flowers. Super cute. So you get different colors of hearts and flowers in different sizes. So we're going to use some of the little pink hearts. And this time I am going to use my take your pick. I'm going to pick up 1 large heart and then a couple of small ones. So put 1 up here and 1 little guy down here. And there we go. There's our cute little chubby kitty card. So on the inside of this one, I added just, again, some strips of DSP. My goal this year is to have less scrap DSP left over at the end of a catalog. So I really want to start using more of it on the insides of my cards so that I don't have a whole lot of little odds and ends of scraps. Oh, thanks. See, yes, I did survive. I did have a pretty good headache for a couple of days. But yes, I am just fine. living to tell about it, and it did not slow me down any. All right, so let's set this one aside. Our last card is this one. Features more of the dies and our cute little bear with the honey pot. So let me show you what we're going to do to put this guy together. Again, I have done a lot of the coloring ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me color for half an hour. So we'll set all of these bits aside. What I did to start is I actually cut that label shape as a window in some more of that Be Mine Designer Series paper. Now this pattern has the little honey pots on it, honey jars, which I thought was perfect to go with our little bear here. So I'm then going to adhere a piece of white cardstock to the back, and that is what I'm going to stamp my little bees on and adhere my branch and leaves to. Okay, so this piece of white is 4 by 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and adhere those. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue around the outside of my cutout here. Now, if you wanted to, you certainly could do this as a cutout that goes to the inside of the card. There are lots of possibilities with this. This is actually the very first card I made with this bundle. And after I made it, I thought of a whole bunch of different more possibilities. So it's really been fun playing with this bundle. All right, so now I have a die cut branch. So that is going to get adhered. I'm actually going to be, I should have stuck that on before I adhered that. That was not very smart. There we go. It's going to tuck underneath the edge of our cutout there. Now I did put adhesive sheets on the back of this, which is going to make it really quick and easy to glue. So we'll peel that off. I can get the backing off my finger. And then we're going to tuck that underneath and stick it so it's kind of coming across the top of our little cutout there. Okay, then I have my little beehive. Now I am painfully aware that beehives are not yellow. In fact, I had originally cut one out of gray, but it just didn't work on the card. So we're going to suspend disbelief and we're going to accept the fact that this beehive is in fact Daffodil Delight. So we are going to adhere that with a couple of dimensionals to the front of our card. It's going to be hanging from our branch. And it's going to kind of go right where the branch and the DSP meet there. And then I have a whole bunch of little bitty leaves here. Now, before we glue those on, we're going to stamp our little bees that are buzzing around the hive. I need to find my, what did I do with my Memento black ink? Oh, hiding under my ribbon. That's where it is. So I'm going to stamp a few little bees here. Just sort of buzzing around. Oh, they're upside down. That's okay. This is what happens when you can't see. We'll add a couple of leaves. These bees are dive bombing, or they're doing acrobatic maneuvers. That's what it is. All right, so I'm going to bring in my Daffodil Delight, my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to color in their bodies. I suppose that the stripe on these isn't super dark, so you could probably get away with them as flies too if you were so inclined. All right, so there are our bees, and then we're going to go ahead and add some leaves. Now these leaves can get glued on really quickly. If you want, you could certainly add adhesive sheets, but I found it's really not necessary. You just kind of need to put a little dab of glue on there and stick them down. They do not need a whole lot to adhere. They're quite lightweight. So we'll just pop these guys on. We're building our leafy branch here. How I would love to see some green leaves right about now. I'm already feeling winter fatigue, and winter hasn't even officially started yet. It has been mild here, I will say, but I am not really a fan of winter. Oh well. Kind of living in the wrong country, right, to complain about winter. So we're going to add a couple more. We'll do one of these down here. There we go. Okay, so there is our leafy branch. And then we're also going to adhere a little bit of grass just along the right side of our cutout. So again, I'm just going to put a little smidge of liquid glue there, and we'll lay that down. Okay, now we're going to set that aside for a minute. We're going to focus on our little bear. So I stamped my bear in Memento Black, and then I'm going to show you the colors that I used to color him. So I used our SU 500 and SU 300 Now, this one I think is medium. Actually, both of these I think are from the medium light pack, I think. I'll have to double check that. One might be medium dark and one's medium light. They are located in the annual catalog. I'm just going to show you real quick because a lot of people miss these and they're great products, especially for coloring animals. So let me get back here to our Stampin' Blends. So do you see how easy it is to miss them? Like there are your color, here's your color palette. So this is going to be, yeah, they're actually medium, deep, and medium. Okay, so that's where those two shades are from. So it's easy to miss them. They're on page 136 of the annual catalog. Okay, so if you have not noticed those before, do check them out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and color our bear here. So I'm going to use, what is this one? This is the 500. So I'm going to lay down my lighter shade. I'm only going to do about half its face at a time, just because I find that the ink blends better if I don't give it time to dry too much. So there's half his face. And then we're going to pull in the other half here. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Where's my other? What is the other shade I used? I feel like I'm missing a shade here because this feels like it should be a lot darker. Let's see what happens. This is what happens when you only color half the bear. And then I'm going to come back in with the light. We're going to see what happens. He may have a two-tone face. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing a shade. Where's my dark? My dark brown. I feel like I maybe used. It's a mystery. I should have kept my. I always do a swatch with my color palette, but this is definitely darker. So let's go back in with this. Maybe I only colored it with this shade. It could well be that I only did this shade because that one was much closer. Yep, I think that's what I did. I didn't do two-tone on the face or the body. I added my shadows just with the second layer. So there we go. I only made this on Sunday. How quickly we forget, right? When we have a million things going on at this time of year. Yes. So you can see, do you see how this matches his body? This does not. Now, because I've done two-tone here, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get these to match, but that's all right. We're just going to layer this some more. Oh, it's getting closer. That's pretty close. I can live with that. All right. I used the lighter shade for the snout and the inside of the ears. That's what I did. So let's do that. This is the 500. So the darker one is 300. The lighter one is 500. So all of these skin tone Stampin' Blends have number. They don't have actual color names like all of our other shades. These are actually by number. Okay. So there we go. There is our bear. Now to color the honey pot, I am using my dark and light Sweet Sorbet. Okay. And so we're going to start again with our light Sweet Sorbet and lay down a base layer. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with my dark and add some shadow around the sides and along the bottom and a little bit to the inside of the pot. And then again, I'm going to come in with my light and blend that out. There we go. And then finally, we're going to color the honey with our dark Daffodil Delight. I want it to be a rich golden color. So the dark daffodil works quite nicely. All right, there is our colored bear. Now he is going to go onto our panel here with a couple of dimensionals. Yeah, I like this bear card too, Peggy. I think he's pretty cute. And this Be Mine DSP is utterly adorable. So we're going to pop this on. He's sitting there with his stash of honey. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this onto our card base before we add our sentiment. So our card base is Sweet Sorbet cardstock, same dimensions as the previous two cards. So we'll go ahead and fold that. And then add a little bit of glue. And pop this onto our card. Just like that. Okay, now my sentiment is from the coordinating stamp set that goes with this DSP, part of the Be Mine suite. And it doesn't get any more perfect for this card than Your Sweet as Honey. So we are going to stamp that sentiment from the Be Mine stamp set in black ink once again. And this is just going on a little strip. It's one of my offcut strips when I cut my inside layers for my cards. So it's a 1/2 inch by, I don't know, 5.5 maybe. So we're going to stamp that on our strip there. And then I'm just going to come in with my scissors. I'm going to trim this a little bit shorter. And then we're going to make a banner end. So we're going to snip in from the end as far as we want our point to go in. And then we're going to trim from one corner into that point and another corner. And that gives you a nice even banner end. Okay. Now on the other end, this is going to get glued right across my bear here. So I'm going to cut this straight across. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to trust myself to cut straight. I'm going to bring in my trimmer and we're going to trim that off because today has been a day. This is my 3 rehearsal day today. That's not something I typically do, but I had a rehearsal before school, at lunch, and after school. And then I also had an on-call today where I had to cover somebody else's class. It's been one of those days where you're like, is it ever going to end? All right, so we are going to run this right across our bear. Now, I know it seems like a shame to cover him up, but I just thought it was so cute to have him sort of peeking out from behind the label. So I'm going to put a dimensional on the one end. Oh, Tamara, thank you. I'm glad you like this bundle. It is a cute one. And it's one that I feel kind of got missed in the busyness of Christmas and crafting and all of the other online exclusives that were released at the same time. So I felt like it was time to give it a moment in the sun. So there we go. Now on the inside of my sample, I did stamp my little bear again. He's kind of peeking on in the corner. But again, this card could be used for just about any occasion, right? Your Sweet as Honey would make a great thank you card. It would make a great Valentine's card, very cute Valentine's card. So let me bring back our 3 projects from today. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now I have some more because, you know, I have to keep playing once I start. So here is another chubby kitty card that features some more of that fabulous Be Mine Designer Series paper and a new alphabet die set. Now this die set is one, I rarely use alphabet dies because I don't like fussing with a whole bunch of individual little bits of cardstock to cut all of my letters. This die actually cuts the entire alphabet with doubles of some in one pass. So it's one single die that cuts a whole whack of letters. So super quick and easy to die cut a whole bunch of letters. So I actually did a shadow effect. So I cut them both from Sweet Sorbet and Daffodil Delight. Believe me, I would not have done that if it were not easy. Okay, so there we go. There is one. And then as a Canadian, I could not resist making a polite Canadian beaver card. So this is my Canadian thank you card with my cute little beaver and some red maple leaves. Just had a little fun with that. And look how cute he is, peeking on from the bottom. There he is, my little beaver. And then finally, cute little birthday card featuring more new products. So this is the new DSP called something. What's it called? Let me, hang on. I got it right here. I can tell you. I don't have to look it up. It is Lighter Than Air. There we go. Also from the new mini. And has beautiful soft pastel patterns. And I just love this little bunny. So here's my little bunny with a cupcake and lots of balloons. Now it's just to celebrate. So this is another sentiment from that Softly Said. set. So it's this little celebrate sentiment. And what I love is that this could be for anything. Now, this would make an adorable baby card or first birthday card. I did do a happy birthday sentiment on the inside, but you could do just about anything. Now, I should also mention this glimmer paper. Can you see the sparkle on there? Is also an online exclusive that you may have missed. So we have a 3-pack of new glimmer, 3-color pack of new glimmer paper that is an online exclusive. This is the Petal Pink. It also comes in Highland Heather and Pretty Peacock. So absolutely gorgeous sparkly paper. So there we go. Lots of ideas with the adorable Fluffiest Friends stamp sets. Oh, Kenzie, you like the Canadian beaver? What can I say? I am a Canuck and I love this little guy. So there we go. All right, everyone. I'm just going to go back to my face so I can say goodbye properly. There we go. Thank you for joining me today. Now, I have to tell you a couple of things. First of all, in case you missed it, there is a 1-day only free shipping flash sale on orders here in Canada of $100 or more. That's on Thursday, December 14th only. Okay. Now, I need to tell you, Thursday, December 14th is my 2 concerts in 1 day. And Stampin' decided to make it really interesting and offer a free shipping promotion on the same day. So if you are someone who generally sends me your orders directly, I'm going to ask you to do that before 6 a.m. on Thursday. So send it to me tomorrow night. And I will put your order in before I leave for school on Thursday morning, because I am going to be insanely busy all day on Thursday, and I probably will not get a chance to put orders in. So please send me your order before 6 a.m. on Thursday morning. Tomorrow, anytime is fine, and I will put it through for you so that you get your free shipping on Thursday. Okay, second thing I need to tell you is that I am taking a 2-week hiatus from my Tuesday Live at 5 to actually do some Christmas shopping and get ready for Christmas for my family. So there will be no Tuesday Live at 5 on next week, the 19th, or on Boxing Day, the 26th. Here in Canada, Boxing Day is actually a holiday and we have family coming. However, I am going to start counting down on New Year's Eve. Now, I'm not counting down to the new year, but I am counting down to Celebration and the new mini. So you're going to get sick of me. You're going to see me every day starting on Sunday, December 31st at 5 p.m., culminating with my launch, my live launch party on January 4th, which will be at 7 p.m., my prime time launch party. So you're going to see me every day, December 31st through January 3rd at 5 p.m., and then again on the 4th at 7 p.m. for my live launch party. Okay, so that means I need to wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I will see you on New Year's Eve as we count down not only towards 2024, but also to a whole whack of new products. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for spending your time with me every Tuesday all year long, and I will see you on New Year's Eve. Bye for now.